folks, welcome back. I hope that you all were able to pick up your pre-cut pine cone flowers. If you didn't, I hope you were able to go out and collect some pine cones. We're going to go ahead and get started with our art project. Remember we need our paints, and that is the acrylic paint, whatever colors you chose. And if you want to add some shine, the Mod Podge that you put on top of the paint at the end. And of course your stick for your stems. You also will need your hot glue gun and also a vase or a pot so that you can put your flowers in. Okay, for the people that are going to try and cut their pine cones themselves, you definitely will need your snips that we discussed about before. So let's go ahead and get started on trimming a pine cone, and this is one that I have. Okay, so we have our gloves, our snips, and our pine cones that we're going to be working on. I don't like getting my fingers pricked by the pine cone tips. So I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on, okay? And I start by looking at my pine cone. See how this bottom is? It's really not a real good bottom to use for the specific flower. This is a good bottom for this flower, okay? We're going to go ahead and start by making the flower with the petals showing up. So I'm going to take my big snips, and you kind of have to get in there. Okay, so now we have our flowers all cut out, or we picked up or have our flowers ready from our pickup at the senior center, or at 50 plus centers, I'm sorry. And we're gonna get ready and paint them, okay? I also did clip my sticks for the stems, okay? All you need is a pair of these, your garden snips, and clip your sticks, okay? I did 3 of them. Alright, so let's just start by painting. We're just going to paint the center. I'm going to go ahead and pick on this guy. Okay, so we have our flowers all painted. I just chose some dark colors, except for this one flower here. And next we want to go ahead and paint our sticks, our stems. Okay, and that's basically just getting out your green paint and painting them. Pretty easy to do. My paintbrush is gonna fall apart. And we're just gonna finish painting our stems. Just how many flowers you have is how many stems you cut, or what flowers you chose to use, or pre-cuts. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and paint our stems now. Okay, so we have our stems painted. I painted 3 of them. And our flowers all painted. And I did also just leave 1 flower natural. I kind of liked it like that. I just put a little bit of paint on the tips and in the center. And then we have a maroon flower and what I want to say is a black-eyed Susan, or at least the colors, and then this flower as well. These are my favorite, these types of flowers. This one's, it's okay, but I like these. I think they're really neat because they have a lot of depth in them. Okay, so while we let those dry, we're going to go ahead and put our foam into our pot. Now, I had a terracotta pot that was already painted, so I decided to use it for this project. My other one that I made is not. So we're going to go ahead and put our dry foam inside of our pot. Now, you'll probably need either a knife or a pair of scissors. And you might have to cut it down just a little bit. And I just use my scissors like this to cut it down. Okay. Okay, so we do have our foam in our pot, okay, and it's nice and tight. I actually got it to a certain point and then had to shave it off, and that's something you may have to do, okay. Alright, so we'll just set that aside. And now our flowers should be dry from painting them. Make sure you go ahead and plug your hot glue gun in, okay. And now what we want to do, I want to put a little sheen on my flowers, so I'm going to use the Mod Podge. And you don't need a lot of it. And I will go ahead and use my paint. There we go. It comes out white. If you can see, it comes out white, so you can see where you're painting. And you just want to go ahead and put some of that on your flowers. If you didn't make it to the store to get the Mod Podge, if you do want to use it, Elmer's glue and water, a little bit of water, will give you the same effect. And it may not be as smelly. This has a little smell to it. I'm not going to do my center part of my flower. I think I want to leave, well, maybe, I don't know. Let me see. Well, let's go ahead. When it dries, it will dry clear. That's a good thing about this stuff. You can see where you put it. There's no special way to put it on, just make sure everything's coated. Alright, there's one. Okay, so we've given our stems and our flowers a little bit of time to dry. You can still see there might be a little bit of Mod Podge that hasn't dried. So let's go ahead and just very carefully get our flowers glued onto our stems, okay? So we're just gonna turn our flower over, and we did have our hot glue gun heating up while we were letting them dry. And we're just going to put a whole bunch of glue on the back side of the flower. And oops, it's running off. Alright, and we're just going to roll our stem on it. And we might have to take and put some extra glue on it too after we put our stem on it. Looks like I need to get some more glue sticks put in there. Okay, and you gotta kind of hold it in place while it's drying or cooling. Shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna make sure I put a lot of glue on because these, I don't want them to fall off. Okay, so we're gonna let that cool down a little bit. I'm gonna fan it, give it a little help. Moving on to our other flower. What might be a good idea too is if you have something that you can actually prop your stem on so it stays in place. This might be a tough one here. That should work. Just make sure we get enough glue. Oh, it's rolling off. Enough glue on it. Remember to be careful with the hot glue. It does burn and it hurts. Okay, so we have our flowers glued onto our stems. This one still might be a little bit loose. Alright, so we'll just leave them set aside for, well actually this one's pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and place it in our pot. And let me put that up just a little bit for you. Okay, and let's see here. I'm going to put this one kind of off to the front a little bit. And we're just going to push it down inside. And let's tilt this up a little bit more so you can see. There we go. Okay. There's one flower in the pot. Okay. I think it looks pretty good. If we put this one in the back a little bit on the angle, and you can adjust them any way you want. And if you want them in different heights, you can trim your stick. And let's see how this little guy is. Okay. I wonder if we could put him here. He could be a little closer. Flowers are growing a little funny, but it's okay. Alright, so our flowers are all in our pot. And all we need to do next is get some of our reindeer moss. I tell you, this is a messy project here. Need lots of vacuuming, just like I said before. And you can kind of push some of it down in between your pot and your dry foam. Or your flower foam. Place it all in there. Now what you can do, and some people do, is there is a spray glue that you could put on this to stop it from, well, so that if you dusting or cleaning or something, it doesn't fall off when you brush by it. And there we have it. Our pine cone flowers. Okay, so here we have our flower pot with our pine cone flowers. You can see them. Need a little more light on the subject. There we go. I hope you enjoyed doing this project. I really enjoy doing the video and doing the project with you. Now remember, anytime during the video, you can pause it to let things dry or to maybe run and grab something else you may need or just take a little break. So just remember that it always can be paused, and look forward to doing another project, which will be the September project. So we will be announcing that for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really miss you. We'll be hopefully seeing you all soon, okay? Thank you. Take care. Be safe.